Let's see here. Mr. President, it's too much. We can't keep winning by a good old leaflet and Azari. Yeah. Let's go.
270,000 illegals forcibly returned to Mexico as Los Angeles collapses. What the entire town deported? What?
Yeah, oh yeah. Funny enough, I think I saw that. I think I saw that like as an actual like news thing. Funny enough. Like I think I saw that as a citizen notification actually. And I was like, ha ha, I couldn't help but laugh.
City essentially comes to a standstill.
Wait, an entire city?
Because many of its residents are afraid to be outside.
What?
Huntington Park, California.
Oh no, now they have to hire Americans. It's TG, not TJ. Yeah, I know.
Now feels it has a bullseye on its back.
Residents are afraid to be outside.
What?
Huntington Park, California. Now feels it has a bullseye on its back because of rampant ice.
I just saw that. I just noticed it's the little leaflet plushie running on the track, telling you all our smog would be gone if they left. True. Like, bro, funny enough, you bring that Americans thing. We'll get into that later on in the video, like really later on in the video.
Is it what Huntington Park?
Yeah, it's HP Huntington Park. I know where that is. That's actually near me, closer to where I live. Leaflet said she grew up like I think she said she grew up like in the valley or some shit, so she probably wouldn't know where that is. But living in the LA area, I know exactly where Huntington Park is. I even called it by its abbreviation, HP.
What the fuck is that?
Like, bro, it's so near me that dating apps recommend women from there to me. That's how close by it is. Holy shit, maybe that's why we have... True. No longer are there parties being thrown until like 3 in the morning and shit. Yeah, haven't had any blackouts. True. No 3 a.m. parties and whatnot. Fucking facts.
Great.
So almost half the people living in some California towns do so while living in America illegally. And while the lawless
HPH Huntington Park hose. True. Yeah, they have been. Haven't you noticed that? Ever since a lot of this happened, there haven't been as many illegal fireworks being shot up into the air. Very interesting, ain't it? Very, very interesting.
residents of these cities gripe to the news of how ICE raids are shutting down their entire...
Guys, how were there this many illegal people? How is this possible?
Because California is right on the border and it's a sanctuary city and the government does nothing about it to kick them out or send them back. That's why. That's exactly why.
How are there this many illegal people? What the fuck? Why is this allowed? They're not doing their...
Because slave labor, Leaflet. Don't you know that if you hire a whole bunch of illegals, you don't have to pay them a fair living wage because you can just threaten them with a deportation? That's why. I mean, why else would you want a whole bunch of illegals in the city area working these jobs where they're paid under the table and none of it appears in tax returns or anything like that? Where they get paid cash and they get paid like $7 an hour and they only work 4 hours.
They say they've got no one to blame but themselves for encouraging people to break the law. And as you're about to see...
They need to hit up Patterson Belly, yeah. They need to hit up they need to just hit up the state from north to south.
There's more than one town in America where this is happening.
We're like becoming like old school Australia, where everyone's a criminal.
Vibrant city center has now become eerily quiet. It's nearly 96% Latino. And
My God, look at that shit, man. The streets are clean. There's no fucking lowrider parties, like just halting traffic and shit. You know, there's no you don't have to be worried about being run over by a dumbass who thinks they're still driving in Mexico or some shit, or like that other fucking moron we covered in the other leaflet video that's from India who drove around making an illegal U-turn, mind you, and killing 3 people. Yeah.
45% of its residents are undocumented.
That's a 40 to 50?
Residents are
40 to 45%, almost nearly half of the residents here are undocumented. Bruh, that's actually on brand for California.
undocumented.
How is this possible? Like,
Nah, it's 60 plus. Yeah, I know it's 60 plus percent. Like, of course it is. They're obviously trying to skew like a decent. I wouldn't say 60. I'd say at least actually like 50 to 55. You know. But yeah, hey, Meat Sweats, remember how you said the thing about employees and shit? Look, here it is. Here it is. Worksite signage and safety. Clients and employees only. No public entry. Like I find it funny how they think that this would actually deter ICE from coming in and arresting people who are here illegally. They don't need a warrant for any of this stuff. They have jurisdiction when it comes to border patrol and all that stuff and arresting illegals. And in my opinion, I believe would you rather have Mexicans or Somalis? Like, bro, I'd rather have neither. I'd rather have Americans. I'd rather have actual Americans, you know? People who want to come over and become Americans. That's what I'd rather have.
how is this possible?
Stores that are open, but they
Dude, no wonder there's freaking billboards that aren't in. Dude, you know in California there's advertisements like there's like you could be watching TV and there'll be a commercial that comes on. Well, I mean, like, you know, if you used to watch TV, there'll be a commercial that comes out 100% in Spanish, and you just be
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
I mean, bro, what do you mean there were? There still are, Leaflet. There's like literally billboard signs, bro. There's people petitioning to change some of the street signs that are used to direct traffic to a different language to accommodate these fucks. That is ridiculous. Yep, if they're here illegally, they gotta go. I agree with that sentiment.
Right?
Like, bro, what baffles me most is that people will quite literally be like, oh my god, the poor immigrant. He's been here for 9+ years contributing to society. How are you just going to send him back? My immediate thought is, you've been here for 9 years and you haven't started the fucking process to become a resident. You don't deserve to be here. Why is this virtual camera on? What the fuck?
Or you'll be driving,
Like, it's fucking
and there'll be,
ridiculous.
Like, a billboard, it's 100% in Spanish. And like,
Yep.
they're not even trying anymore. You know, like, it's like they know that a lot of the population doesn't even speak English.
That's stupid in my opinion. That's so stupid. You have to acclimate to our language and to our culture. If you come here, you don't try to acclimate, you don't deserve to fucking be here. If you're trying to enforce your culture, your fucking language, and whatever else that's from your country to another country, that you don't deserve to be there, then go the fuck back. Go the fuck back where everything is already the way you want it to be then. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
I'm not even joking. Yeah, like regular, like you'll be watching like regular old like English TV, and out of nowhere, full Spanish ad. Or
Yep.
again, like like let me see if I could find it. Like just like California Spanish billboard, right? Like you just be like driving, right? Like they're just like everywhere basically. You just see like some shit like this basically. I don't know if this is California, but yeah, I don't know if this one in particular is California, but I mean
YouTube does
it's
that shit too.
basically,
Yep.
like, similar. Actually, this is Hesperia. Hesperia is in California. I'm pretty
Well, the thing is, you'll be watching a video in English and it'll play an ad in Spanish. Yeah, bro. Let me tell you, I was listening to music and shit. Before I was fed up with it and I got Spotify Premium, I was listening to fucking music and shit, and I would get ads in Spanish, and I would literally be like, "What the fuck? I'm listening to Slipknot. Why am I getting an ad in Spanish about health insurance?" Also, a YouTuber I watched told younger guys to work for ICE, not even for political reason, but just because they are the only ones hiring. Yeah, they are. They are. Funny enough, a new South Park episode came out. I wonder if it's up here. Nope, not yet. All right, where is it? Where is it? Where's leaflet? Shit. There you are.
Pretty sure. But you'll just see shit like this basically, right? And you
Oh,
have,
there
like,
it is. Yeah, this is here in LA, or this is here in California. Because I think I've actually driven down this street once. But yep, look at this, Wells Fargo in pure Spanish.
like a you have like a Wells Fargo ad, you know, in America. Is this, yeah, Hesperia, California. You can see it right here on the truck, right there, Hesperia, California. But you'll just see, like, you know, Wells Fargo have like a straight up Spanish ad in America, right?
Like, bro. And then he got hit with a bunch of PNC bots, and ha, that's funny as shit.
And
What the fuck is a DNC bot?
I'm gonna be real, like, I'm against this no matter what language is it. No matter what language it is, I'm against this, to be honest.
Bro.
You see this as well, like.
I'm of Hispanic descent, and even I'm against this shit. This shit should realistically be in English. This is another thing that I have an issue with. Like, it's the same as the truck drivers debacle. If you cannot speak, read, and write English, even if it's not fluently, even if it's just at like at a third, fourth grade level, if you can't at least read it, write it, and speak it, even if it's janky as shit with a thick accent, I don't think you deserve to be driving trucks around. Oh, Democratic National Convention? That's so gay.
Like if you go to like an area that has like Asians as well, you'll see like Chinese ones, right? English
Yep.
should be the official language of America, and I think it's becoming that. If you move to a country, and I think this applies to like any country, there are some exceptions. Like, for instance, like, I think it makes sense to have like menus in a different language if you have like a tourist country, right? Like,
Yeah, like if like a great example of this would be Tokyo in Japan. Tokyo is a massive tourist destination in Japan. So Tokyo having, like, you know, some signs in like English as an example makes sense. Like, having them have like English like menus that have both Japanese and English makes sense. But you wouldn't go to like fucking like, you wouldn't go to like the sticks of Tokyo, or not the sticks of Tokyo, the sticks of Japan, and you wouldn't expect them to have that exact same stuff. You'd expect them to be heavy fucking Japanese, you know? English is still the most common. Yeah, like, bro, they speak English almost everywhere nowadays, even if it's just broken English. Let's see here. Like if you go to Tokyo and shit's in like pseudo English because, you know, it's a tourist spot, you wouldn't go to Saitama and expect it to be the same, or like Toyama and expect it to be the same as Tokyo. Even Naha. You wouldn't go to fucking Naha and expect that for Naha to have like all these signs in English and Japanese to accommodate you. No, you're already like deep into Japan at that point. You're no longer at the tourist spots. So it makes sense that those places wouldn't have, you know, signs in other languages. But it should still be predominantly in the native speaking tongue of that country. Like, you wouldn't go to Russia and go to fucking, like you wouldn't go to Russia, go to Berlin and whatnot. Is Berlin in Russia? No. No, it's not. Okay, you wouldn't go to Moscow in Russia and see some stuff like in English to accommodate, you know, some of the tourists that might go there, but then expect to go to Penza and it be the exact same shit. Like, that makes no sense, you know? It's ridiculous. Berlin is Germany's capital. Bro, I'm American, okay? Geography is not America's best strength. Yeah, it is the capital of Germany. I'm fucking retarded. Like, oh my god.
Like a tourism like sort of country, then it kind of makes sense to have like stuff in like other languages, right? But having like something for residents, because like billboards
It
are
was half of Russia at some point. Yeah, the fall of the Berlin Wall and whatnot in East and West Berlin. That's not an excuse, Levy. Well, guess what? Like I keep saying, I'm retarded. It's my excuse, okay? I'll use
are
it in his
targeted
excuse.
towards residents of an area, right? Television ads are targeted towards residents of an area. Government things, like for instance, like you know, applications for a driver's license are for residents of an area, right? Those things should be in English, in my opinion, because again, it's an issue of respect, right? Like you move to a place, you should learn the language that the people speak there, and
I agree.
that's what you should use.
I agree wholeheartedly with what she said. You wouldn't go to Mexico and expect everything in Mexico to suddenly be English, right? Even though they speak Spanish. Same shit here. Why would you come to America and expect everything to suddenly be in your native tongue when English is the dominant language of this country? Yeah, if you live in Mexico, you have to know Mexican Spanish. Just like if you live in Puerto Rico or Spain, you need to know Spanish. Like, it's pretty fucking stupid.
That's what I think. Like they shouldn't have to conform around you. It should be the other way around. And I would say the same thing about any country, really.
Yep.
Like if you moved to Mexico and you expected there to be like English everything, and you weren't living in like a tourism town, then like, yeah, what the fuck? They probably think that people go around being upset that people look different. That's not.
Yeah, you're right. Our Constitution is in English, and we are an English-speaking country. It might not be, you know, Britain English, but realistically, American English is the closest thing to the original Old English that there is. Because even Britain deviated with a lot of its, a lot of the way they used certain words, while in the States, as the language evolved, it still stayed pseudo the same. You know? Like, funny enough, our English is the closest to Old English than the actual English.
Really it at all. If our founding documents are English,
Didn't
all
find
citizens
the
should
chat.
understand. English should understand the core principles and tenets of this nation. I agree. 100%. It's not about race, it's about culture, it's despiteful banana. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I really do. I that's what I agree with, and I think what happens is these people, and I mean, like, you know, South Park is parody, right? I don't know like how serious they are about like this specific message you're trying to bring here, but I think it actually does depict how people do feel about like people that don't want illegal immigration, for instance. Like,
They felt they had to speak posh because Americans were hicks. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, they destroyed the roots of their language just because they couldn't stand the fact that Americans were also speaking English. And we're doing a better job at it.
You'll have like people saying like, okay, like we can't, like, no more immigration, no more illegal immigrants. They probably think that they're like Cartman, right? They're probably like, oh, you know, they just like don't like people that don't look like them. That's not what it is at all. It's culture. And the thing is, guys, a lot of the people that don't conform to the culture look different. That's all it is, really.
Yep.
Right? And the thing is, you know, obviously.
You know what's funny? I'm living proof of that. Well, Gen Alpha is fucking that up. Yeah, true, I agree. But yeah, like, bro, I am mixed, and I pass as fucking Caucasian. And because I'm more American than anything, I genuinely could go to like the deep south, go to like as an example, a KKK rally, and no one would be able to tell that I'm not white. Like, bro, I've literally had people tell me, actual fucking Mexicans and shit, tell me that they thought that I was white. Hell yeah, brother! The Klan will rise again! White no.
Obviously, obviously if people come from another country, they're gonna look like people from another country, right? So for instance, right, if you have like illegal immigrants coming from Mexico, obviously
They're
most
gonna
of
look
them are
like
Mexican.
Mexicans. Yeah.
What are we talking about? This isn't like an issue of like people hating. This is an issue of hating Mexicans. This is an issue of like just
It's just basic fucking statistics. Oh, Mexico's to our border and people are coming in illegally through there. Guess what the majority demographic of illegals is gonna be? It's like fucking it's like if Canadians started coming in here illegally in droves. Yeah, they're gonna be fucking Canadians primarily. Like what? It's stupid as shit.
like again like a cultural thing, or like illegal immigration shouldn't be allowed. This has nothing to do with that, but then they'll try to make it a racial thing when it's not. It's a little unrealistic to not expect cross-pollination. Nobody's even talking about that, though. That's what I'm. It's a little
What did that say?
unrealistic to not expect cross-pollination. No,
Son of a bitch, I missed it.
to not expect cross-pollination.
She threw something in there. Half.
It
Wait, did that say hate Mexicans? What?
pollination.
Hate Mexicans ain't flowers? Oh. No, I'm stupid. I'm reading that M as an H. Why? God damn it. Oh, that's funny. Mate, Mexicans hate flowers. Oh, that's true. Damn Canadians. Nah, that's how them. Yeah, bro, like, literally, cartels are starting to use the northern border, even though it's more dangerous, to try to sneak in illegals. They're trying to do that now.
Nobody's even talking about that, though. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean, Armacalic. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about like race or like people being like mixed race. Nobody's talking. We're not talking about that.
I hate these coastal pricks who love immigrants while it's blue collar people getting. Yup, I agree, dude. Just look at how many. I mean, just look at all the businesses that she's about to cover that are like shutting down and
a lot
shit.
of people I know who are advocating against this stuff, we're not even talking about that at all. And like, I feel like this always gets conflated as like.
You know what's funny? They brought up cross-pollination and they're trying to make this a race thing. You have actual Mexican Americans, and actual Latinos that are Americans quite literally stating that if you believe it's only Mexicans that are crossing the Mexican border illegally, you're a racist and you're just ignorant as fuck. Because it's not only Mexicans that are crossing the border illegally. Like, bro, one of my former coworkers from when I used to work in aerospace, he quite literally told me that one of his friends from the Philippines came over here illegally and crossed over through the Mexican border because it was that easy during the Biden administration. He told me that. So that right there is proof that it's not just Mexicans that are crossing the southern border. And if you believe that it's only Mexicans, then you're just a fucking moron. I have actually convinced communists to adopt a closed border policy. Yep. Immigrants do hurt workers, man. Cesar Chavez, a prolific Mexican American in history, would quite literally round up illegals and send them over the border and turn them over to ICE and Border Patrol. You want to know why? Because he knew that illegal immigrants affected his movement. Las huelgas, he knew that they affected those because the farmers would just fire every worker who was protesting and would hire an illegal. So Cesar Chavez quite literally would grab these illegals up, round them all up, and send them back to Mexico. Because they affected his movement. Like, which is why I say, if Cesar Chavez was alive today, he'd be MAGA. He'd be 100% MAGA.
People try to say like that's what it's about, but it's not. It's about culture, basically, right? And again, like, How do I explain it? I hate that I have to be so careful with how I word things. Some people think it's culture might be another dog whistle. It's fucking not though. There actually is a cultural
Yeah,
difference.
Cesar Chavez did that shit. Let's see. Yep. Yes, historical records indicate that Cesar Chavez and the United Farm Workers actively participated in reporting undocumented immigrants to authorities and working to prevent them from entering the U.S. This controversial aspect of his legacy was driven by the union's goals of protecting the jobs and wages of legal farm workers during strikes. There you have it. There you fucking have it. Cesar Chavez would be a MAGA Republican in today's day and age.
Friends, right? Let's just say that Nick Fuentes says those things for a reason, and there's a reason why a lot of black people agree with him. That's all I'm saying. And it's not just, that's not the only one. Basically, there's a lot of like different like cultural things that aren't assimilated into American culture. People seem to be very misleading on what culture is. It should be based on its nation and participants, not on the race of them. Yes. However, say there's a cultural issue with elves, okay? And like the elf culture is like different from human culture, right? So
right.
if there's an issue with elf culture not being compatible with human culture, okay? And you allowed people to move into the
Knife ears, bro, we love elves. Elves are adorable. Leaflet's an elf, and she's the most adorable of them all. Get rid of them? What the fuck's wrong with you? No! No! Why would you want to get rid of fucking bodacious babe Freyrid? Did I even spell that right? No. Like, look at her. Look at how adorable she is. Why would you want to get rid of her?
country, right? And say there were a lot of knife ears that exhibit elven.
She said it herself. I'm a dwarf lover. It's in my blood, bro. I am a bard at heart. That's all I need to say.
culture. Well, obviously, because they're elves. Does that make sense? They're from an elven nation, so they exhibit elven cultural traits because they're from there. How is this hard to understand? This isn't anything against like the state of being an elf. This is from being from that culture because that culture is elven in the first place. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, obviously you're gonna have to apply that in like in terms for Earth, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like obviously a culture that is rooted in a certain race you're gonna see more people of that race exhibiting that culture. Doesn't mean that all people from that race exhibit that culture, obviously. But like people say,
Yeah.
but the idea that
Like shit, like the term Latinos encompasses a whole massive group of people. But like Puerto Ricans don't share the same culture as Mexicans, even though they somewhat speak the same language of Spanish. Didn't you hear Freyrin is MAGA? Bro, I love Freyrin now. Yeah. Even here in America, you have Americans who share different cultures depending on where they're from. Like a Floridian's culture, it would be way fucking different from like a Missourian's culture. You know, someone from Missouri might have a completely different culture than someone from, let's say, fucking from Nebraska. You know. But at the end of the day, we all share a common fucking origin with our culture here in America. But like she says, like someone from Mexico is gonna have Mexican culture, and someone from America is gonna have American culture. What is the difference between Latino and Hispanic? I think, if I remember correctly, Latino is used for every Spanish speaking, while Hispanic is used primarily for like Mexico and Central Americans. I could be wrong. about that one. I could be wrong. Or that, or they're the same. Oh, here. Hispanic refers to people from countries with the Spanish-speaking language and culture, including Spain, while Latino refers to people with origins in Latin America, including Spanish-speaking countries. So yeah. So I got them backwards. I got them backwards. Hispanic is everyone who speaks Spanish, regardless of where they're from. And Latino is primarily the Latin America. Yeah, I got it right, but in reverse. So yeah.
Like for instance, right? Like they have like this whole thing, like, oh,
Whenever I play a bard in D&D, I would try and romance every single orc woman, bro. Hell yeah.
they're rounding up illegal people and they're hunting Mexicans down. It's like, what?
Wait, what'd you
The
say?
idea that, like, obviously, getting that culture doesn't mean that all people from that race exhibit that culture, obviously. But like people say, but the idea that like for instance, right? Like they have like this whole thing, like, oh, they're rounding up illegal people and they're hunting Mexicans down. It's like, what? And they're like, yeah, you know what? They're disproportionately hunting down Mexican people. It's like,
How is that disproportionate when our literal southern neighbor is Mexico? Like, that makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, it's stupid.
yeah, because most of the illegals are Mexican. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Right? Like, it's so retarded. Like, how is this? What is going on? Obviously, if most of the illegals are Mexican, then obviously
They are hunting down and rounding up illegals. Yeah, and saving children. True. True.
that if they were to like deport them, obviously they would deport mostly Mexicans. Duh. They would deport mostly Mexicans. Duh. Are Mexican, then obviously that if they were to like deport them, obviously they would
She said obviously 6 times in a row. Oh, that's funny. Oh my god, we love Leaflet. She's adorable, man.
deport mostly Mexicans. Duh. Now, this is so retarded. Why is everyone
Mexicans are southern neighbor, and a majority of the Mexicans are coming in illegally, so a majority of the illegals being sent back are Mexicans. Like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. The sky's blue and concrete's fucking gray. What? Like, what?
retarded?
We remain with the gate.
This is so retarded.
Yeah.
Why is everyone retarded?
We remain with the gates locked.
It's not everyone, Leaflet. It's only liberals who eat up liberal propaganda like they're fucking starving Nigerians that have been offered the juiciest fucking cake in the planet. I have seen concrete of many colors, Levy. Yeah, but okay. When you open up a bag of concrete mix, what color is it? What color is it? Please go on, tell me. It's gray, isn't it? Yeah, it's fucking gray.
Because the reality is that folks are scared of coming in, that folks are scared of being taken.
The percentage decline would equate to a loss in California
It's
of more
late.
than 271,000 jobs for citizens and more than 193,000 jobs for non-citizens. Edward Flores, lead author of the report, told Cal Matters if there's disruptions to
The census doesn't just count citizens, it counts everyone, including legal foreigners. They're represented in their countries, or at least they're supposed to. Yeah, well, the problem is that I don't know if that should be the case. Because, like, I just feel like if they're giving political power to an area to have, it creates a bad incentive. It does. It creates a bad incentive to, like, basically overpopulate areas with illegal people and foreigners in order to increase their political power, because it would give them more representatives in Congress. Right?
Yeah, that's why California has so many representatives. It's because the census is so inflated and bloated because of Isn't Leaflet making a tabletop game? I think she already did. if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the reason California has so many seats in Congress is quite literally because of all the illegals that they count on the census, which is fucking insane. Like, you're counting people who quite literally even don't even contribute to our economy in a meaningful way. Like, they don't pay taxes, they eat up our taxes, and our taxpayer dollars go to benefits that are catered towards them, so that way they keep voting blue. Like, what? Like, it's so skewed.
Right, so for instance, right, if you had it, like, just to explain it, right, if you had it so that San Francisco, like, because the way it works right now is representatives are based on population. So, like, X amount of population gets you a representative, right? And if they also counted illegal people and foreigners in that, then you would be incentivized to basically let as many illegals in as possible to be counted on the census, to overly inflate your population numbers, so that the people who are citizens in the area have a disproportionately, like, large vote. Yeah, it's dumb.
Work that undocumented
It's fucking
immigrants
ridiculous.
do, it has ripple effects.
Now, they said they wanted her undocumented husband, who did serve time for a violent offense, but that day she was...
Her husband is here illegally, and he has a rap sheet already. And these are the type of people that the government, that the extreme left will say should deserve to be in this country. They already disregarded our laws on multiple occasions, and now they're suffering the consequences of it, but you'll have the government being like, no, that's bad.
Questioned, not released. Now listen.
He said that they're after my husband because he doesn't have papers and he has a criminal record from 9 years ago.
Downtown Santa
9 years. He's been in this country for 9 years. Not only that, he has a criminal record already. Plus, out of his 9 years of being in this country, he hasn't started the process to become a legal citizen. I wonder why. Couldn't be to reap the benefits that, you know, these cities give illegals, right? Right?
Ana has slowed down.
This is 4th Street downtown, and you just saw one car pass?
Shops are closed, sidewalks are quiet, and street vendors are scarce.
Sidewalks are closed. They're saying all this shit, yet it still took me fucking 2 hours to get from the place where I went to go get an interview, where I went to go do an interview, back home. Yet the trip from my house to the place for the interview was like 43 minutes. So, I'm sorry, what happened to all this shit about people being too scared to go out?
Federal agents do not need an arrest warrant from a judge in a case like this. ICE officers have the authority to arrest aliens without a judicial warrant.
Okay.
I hate this shit. Whole towns are empty as migrants disappeared. No, they're not migrants. They're illegal fucking aliens, okay? Let's get one thing straight. There is a massive difference between a legal migrant and an illegal alien. Alright?
So if you fill your town with fugitives, don't be surprised when the worst of the worst decide to make it their home base. And what nobody's talking about is this is exactly what's happening in these sanctuary cities. And while the television might defend places that exist only because of illegal immigration, the truth doesn't. And ICE agents have been blasting open the homes of wanted fugitives and raiding apartments in some of these places for months, looking for dangerous individuals who've shacked up in these sanctuary cities for the benefits, like free healthcare and freedom from immigration checks made by local police who aren't.
How fucked up? Like, I just don't understand that.
Holy shit, dude.
Like, if you're a poor American, like, I'd imagine you'd be fucking pissed that your resources are going to illegal people. Like,
I am, and I've been fucking pissed for years about it. My mom, making fucking, I think she was making like $9 to $10 an hour working where she used to work before where she works now, said the government told her that she didn't qualify for fucking food stamps for me and my brother when we were both little. Said that she was making too much. Meanwhile, fucking neighbor here illegally on Section 8 housing with rent control that's very low, getting food stamps up the ass, as well as a whole bunch of other federal assistance, all while doing nothing except beating her kids. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, make that make sense. Like I said, I've been livid about that for years, and I will never fucking not be pissed off about that. No matter how fucking old I get, even after she passes away, even when I'm fucking 6 feet under the grave, I will fucking die with that shit and fucking livid about that shit. People outright deny MS-13 being a literal terror organization. Yeah, it's fucking wild, given how the only way you can get those tattoos is by killing people.
This is like actually the funny thing is this.
They could deny it all they want, but Trump and Homeland Security already stated that cartels and gangs like that are now classified as terrorist organizations, and they're gonna start doing shit about it.
This shit disproportionately harms people who have no money. This is
allowed to talk to ICE, which means
unreal.
You can be a gang member with known ties to international criminal organizations.
Well, we care about poor people, dude. Man, shut the fuck up.
No, you don't. You care about your.
God, I'm so tired.
You don't care about poor people. You care about your slave fucking labor.
And if you're arrested in a sanctuary city,
I feel like every day I get more and more tired. I'm just like, man, what the fuck are we doing? Like,
I know what you mean,
put you in the
Lit.
back of a police car and release you on your own recognizance. And if ICE asks them to hold on to you, they don't even respond. But this has allowed these communities to become bastions of guerrilla armies of criminals who hide in plain sight, knowing their radical neighbors will throw themselves at police to defend their neighborhood.
Yeah, that's
Thinking
insane.
that
That's
law
stupid.
and order is somehow evil, even though ICE is out there trying to save these places from themselves before they fall apart. Which brings us to the real reason some of these cities and towns are entirely abandoned at this point. If you've got half your population who's not even supposed to be here and you've allowed that to go on.
But Lefty, we need to care about these people even while they hate us and they drain us of our tax dollars for services we can't even access. Bro, honestly, fuck these people, man. Oh my god, fuck them. Like, bro, like, fucking working minimum wage at fucking Target, not even hitting 40 hours a week, not even hitting 30 hours a week, no longer classifies you for Medi-Cal because you make too much. And you have to get something like COVID California. Make that make sense.
Forever. When law and order finally shows up, that's going to cause a lot of problems, and those problems are entirely self-inflicted because these places only had population growth because of illegal immigration. And when you look at all of the businesses here,
it was all essentially artificial population growth. It wasn't natural. It wasn't like population growth because people were having a shit ton of kids and whatnot. It's because a bunch of illegals were coming over and the cities were essentially giving them housing and shit. Meanwhile, we have a massive homelessness issue and a massive drug issue that they refuse to do anything about. It's fucking crazy.
Here that are now closing and are shut down, they were all getting rich off America's open border, which reveals why so many in these local business communities say they support immigrants, a term which they use to lump together.
Yeah, I mean, come on, people. Are you stupid? Why would we hire Americans and pay them a fair living wage when we can hire illegal immigrants and pay them $3 an hour when we sell products for $20 base price? Like, come on. Think about all the deficit and the loss. Like, bro, this is why it pisses me off when people are like, oh my god, the price of Arizona drinks are gonna increase and whatnot. Like, I'm sorry, what happened to y'all flexing the fact that you owned everything? Like, literally, they were like, oh, why aren't you increasing the prices during COVID and whatnot like every other company? And their response was, we own everything. We don't have debt. We can afford to, you know, to cut our own wages because we realistically don't need all that money. What happened to all that? Huh? What happened to, oh, we own everything in our company, so we don't actually have to, we can actually pay what we want to pay. All of a sudden, Arizona needs to increase the prices? Now, when you think about that, it doesn't make sense now, does it?
legal and illegal immigrants. But now that everyone who's an active criminal isn't coming out and doing their shopping, what purpose do these businesses even serve? Should they be allowed to shut down?
That's kind of true. That if you have a business, that entire...
I hate how Americans will throw themselves at the cops to defend these assholes while they don't give two fucks about their own. Yep, true. I agree. It's fucking ridiculous. They'll wave a flag around of the country they don't want to go back to while complaining about all the horrible shit that happens in this country. It's like, what? What? Liberal versus conservative care heat map. Let's see here. I looked it up, but I don't really understand what I'm looking at. But like, if you actually, I think what you're talking about is how red the country is as opposed to blue, and it's like, yeah, it is massively red as opposed to blue.
Entirely caters to like your entire customer base is illegal immigrants that you would get fucked over basically. But it's kind of like, I mean, what, should we just not enforce the law then?
So the law-abiding can start their own businesses while hiring people for fair wages? And all of those workers who are here illegally and lost their jobs, well, should that be allowed to happen? And
yes.
If that does happen, what would be the possible fix for that?
A crowd of employees of the Los Angeles Equestrian Center huddled together Friday morning, moments before they were taken into a closed-door meeting, where they say they were all fired because of their immigration status.
So one way to look at what you just saw is that a company no longer has any workers. But why would they have fired those workers if they didn't think they could get new people to legally fill those positions?
Because it's the fucking surf class, that's why. It's the new surf class. They want essentially slave labor and slave workers with extra steps. Why hire an actual yeah, I know you're not joking. Like, why would they hire Americans and pay them a fair living and have to, you know, give them all these things that's required by law when they could hire a whole bunch of illegals and then fire them and turn them over to ICE when they no longer need them? You know? Like, bro, like, think about the savings, man, the cost savings, the corporate greed.
That there are many Americans and legal permanent residents out there just lined up for the very jobs that have been stolen from them. Plus, a recent study that's supposed to make us all feel...
Guys, wanting your country's culture to not be overtaken by another country, that's not hating on foreigners. I don't think so.
Bad about what
right,
ICE
it's
is doing.
not.
Estimates that the job losses to regular...
It's to be expected, basically.
Citizens are almost the same number as the job losses from...
Yeah, when you hire a whole bunch of illegals, don't be shocked to work at your factory, for example. Don't be shocked when ICE comes knocking and you have to shut down your fucking your factory because you only employed illegals to pay them, you know, subpar wages because they're here illegally. Don't be shocked when your business goes under because you hired only illegals to work at your business. And you catered towards illegals. And all your stuff was made for illegals. Don't be shocked when your business suddenly goes under when the people you're catering towards and the people you're hiring towards are being taken back to their country.
Illegal immigrants abandoned.
Freerin sounding ass. Nothing says Freerin sounding ass. Next, you're gonna say there are no good demons? No, there are none. No, not in the Freerin world. No.
Their post.
I'm a good demon. Ooh. Leaflet, I'm a good demon. Ooh.
Which means any unemployed local residents could just fill these newly available positions. But that might not be possible in certain parts of America where a critical mass of locals...
You know how like people, they, you know, like little girls, they look up to, like, I don't know, fucking Elsa or something like that from like Frozen, and they're like, that's my role model or whatever. For me, it's Freerin.
Now no longer want to hit the streets.
So how has the community here responded to the ongoing
Thank you,
raids?
Shell Sound. Thank you.
They're scared.
Bro, what? Wait, what? See, the middle of the circle represents the family. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Oh, I see, I see. Points Doom shotgun at you. Ha, joke's on you. I'm immortal. You can't kill me with some measly human shotgun.
Jonathan Sanabria sits on the city council.
If God himself couldn't get rid of me by stabbing me through the chest with a fucking flaming sword, you think your shotgun's gonna do anything? Bitch, please. Ah, fucking moving my ice packs around.
He also grew up here.
We are a target for them because we know that they are stereotyping and they're racially profiling.
Well, there it is.
You see, this is what I said earlier. If almost all of the illegals are of a certain race, are you just not allowed to get anyone from, or to suspect anyone from that race? That's so weird. Like, it's
and they're targeting
so stupid
folks that look like
me. Yeah, because that's what they look like.
Yeah, like what?
Because that's what the illegals look like.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If there were a bunch of fucking Nigerians coming in illegally because our border was with fucking Nigeria instead of Mexico, guess what? The predominant people that people would be looking for if they were here illegally would be Nigerians. Like, what? It makes no sense. Doomslayer will find a way, bro.
Like, I'm sorry. That's just how it is.
Sanabria took us along Pacific Boulevard, Huntington Park's main commercial thoroughfare.
What, should you just have fucking immunity now because you're of Latin descent? It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, that is stupid as shit.
The most vibrant city center.
This place is empty though.
Quiet. Jose Lomelli is a longtime resident.
I remember Pacific Boulevard was always packed, but since the raids have been going on, it's a ghost town.
You hear that? A ghost
You
town.
hear that? You can walk and not have to worry about some illegal fucking stabbing you out of nowhere because they're having a bad day. You can walk without having to get fucking robbed or mugged or seeing someone shooting up drugs and shit or seeing someone trying to sell drugs. Wow, what a terrible thing that the neighborhoods are now safer. The roads are now safer because people who actually know how to read the signs and know the actual, proper safety road laws are the ones driving. God damn, man. Who would have thunk?
But let's get one thing straight. They've already told us that about half the people who live in this city, Huntington Park, are in the country illegally. And this guy, this politician here, he's not being truthful because he says everyone's scared. Nobody wants to come out, but he's out. And then they find another guy on the street who's out. And then they
have people in the background who's out. Oh, look, there's people driving. Ignore the firefighter truck. But look, there's people literally driving over here and shit. Oh, look, remember when Leaflet pointed out the thing? Look, Huntington Park, right here, a straight-up ad in Spanish.
Everyone's being racially profiled, and that's why nobody feels safe. But here they are walking around.
Oh my God,
they say
that's
that,
what I was talking about. Guys, this is what I was talking about. See, there's the ad, and it's in Spanish in America. This
For
is
Verizon.
literally what I was talking about earlier.
Being racially profiled, and that's why nobody feels safe. But here they are walking around feeling safe. And this is obviously false. ICE has zero power over someone who's not attacking them when they do their job and who's not in America illegally. Their sole job is to enforce immigration law. If you're not in violation of immigration law, you got nothing to worry about. Everyone knows this. Yet there's a massive...
This is like the same argument as oh, men have privilege because they could walk out at street in the middle of the night and not have to worry about getting robbed or some shit. And it's like, well, I mean, you could too. You wouldn't have to worry about getting robbed if you were, properly able to defend yourselves. Just as a little, tidbit there.
Effort right now to make it look like ICE is just out there arresting the wrong people, which isn't true in the least. And as you're about to see, all of these job losses that are taking place, well, they actually might be a good thing if all of those jobs and companies only existed to serve a criminal population.
Places are surviving.
The councilman showed us
Are
how
they, though?
business owners
Are they
trying to lure
surviving?
customers back into these stores.
So here's a sign. There's people inside conducting business, but they now have their doors locked. They're saying, "Hey, knock," so we can open the door.
How is this not a self-report for ICE to immediately come knocking at your door and being like, "We're gonna investigate every single one of you"? How is this not like a straight up like a fucking, you know, a red flag that maybe there might be illegals working there and shit?
The service for you.
That's weird.
ICE agents would need a warrant to enter.
No.
No, they don't.
That are open, but they.
No, they wouldn't need a warrant to enter. They don't need a warrant to enforce immigration law. If someone's illegal and they run into a business to try and hide there, ICE doesn't have to go get a warrant to then track that person down. No, they make legal arrests when
they're like running in there claiming sanctuary. Like this is the fucking Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, fucking sanctuary. Meanwhile, they get tackled by ICE inside the fucking Walmart, and all they're doing is yelling sanctuary.
Apprehend fugitives. They've got permission to do this. Now, of course, they can't just raid a business for no reason, but if they're on a targeted enforcement operation, they can enter publicly accessible spaces like parking lots and such, looking for the fugitive they're after, and if that fugitive enters into a private location, they are allowed to pursue that person. But what's crazy is these businesses, apparently they're so terrified, they've got barriers to entry preventing people who might be walking down the street from just coming in. They're willing to shut down and sacrifice business to protect the fugitives that are apparently working inside of these places.
Man.
Why else would they have a sign at the door that says no one can come in unless we let you in? If everybody inside was legal and nobody was violating.
Yo, hear me out, guys. Hear me out.
Fucking ridiculous.
That's where they should look first. If
Yeah,
it's a
that
business
is.
That's like we're gonna stay closed because we don't want ICE here. They should definitely go there first. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a self-report, right?
Immigration law. None of this would be a problem. But here's why job loss is in these
In
parts.
my opinion, that's like waving a flag and being like, "We're over here. Come over here. Knock on our door."
To the country might actually be a good thing. All of these businesses that are making money off of a criminal population, hiring workers who don't have proper documentation to begin with, possibly not paying them fair wages, well, all the extra money they make just jacks up the rent for all these businesses because now the landlords benefit from illegal immigration too. So you've got an economy that has inflated itself.
Look at all
to a
these people
level
that got
wouldn't
nothing better to
exist
do.
if the criminals working in these businesses who are breaking immigration law weren't serving customers who are in the country illegally. You see how that works?
It's locked. So this is another way of the
Gates
stores
locked.
protecting themselves and their customers from unwanted interactions with
There are
us.
no customers.
A woman emerged
Yeah.
from behind the gates. She runs this bridal shop. How is business?
That's crazy.
¿Cómo ha estado el negocio estos días?
Imagine working here and not knowing how to speak fucking English, dude. That's insane to me.
Very bad. Very bad. Because the reality is that folks are scared of coming in, that folks are scared of being taken.
These places are going to shut down. If they don't
Yep,
have any
they
customers
are.
and they got the gates up like that, the writing's on the wall. They're not going to be able to pay their rent forever like this. And the other thing
Yeah, people will just assume that the store's closed and go somewhere else.
is nobody is being taken if they're here legally. That's a fallacy. But from the behavior of these stores, we know that the statistics
Like,
point-
bro, they have to literally go into the Home Depot and check behind the fucking concrete and the fucking, the concrete pallets and, like, the fucking roof shingle pallets, man. Like, bro, that's fucking wild.
to almost half the population here
Yeah.
being here in violation of the law are probably accurate. There's a 50-50 chance if someone walks up to the door of one of these places, ICE could be looking for them. Now, whose fault is that? Is that the fault of ICE, or is that the fault of the city or town that said, hey, it's okay for fugitives to live here?
Yep.
Come on in. Make yourselves part
It's
of
the
the
city's
community.
fault.
Let's operate like this for decades, and then when law and order finally shows up, they want to blame law and order for the consequences of their decisions and their actions. The city said it's okay to break the law. People breaking the law showed up. Now
But
that's
that's crazy. That means like a lot of these places have like an inflated economy, like an
Yeah.
inflated illegal economy. That's crazy.
it's over, and what? It's the fault of the police? That's dumb.
Publicans continues to remain high. Many of them say immigrants who've entered the country illegally should be deported. Sanabria
should.
disagrees.
When we look at a lot of different sectors of our economy, the reason we are able to keep it at a lower rate is because of undocumented workers.
What did he just say?
He said the silent thing out loud. He said the economy can be kept good because of undocumented workers. Slave labor, ladies and gentlemen. That's the only reason. God damn. A fucking filthy Mexican. No, look at this shit. Fucking... A fellow fucking brownie right here literally said that immigration is good because it leads to cheaper labor. Like, bro, what? How fucking retarded are you? A fellow brownie said that. Yeah, but it's the white man. The white man that's the racist.
Or rate is because of undocumented workers.
What did he just say?
What?
That undocumented workers depress certain aspects of the economy, like the prevailing wage for workers in this neighborhood. Did you just hear that?
Dude.
I think I sure did. This guy just let the cat out of the
He
bag.
did.
Cheap
Yep.
labor is what these
Self-reported.
businesses are thriving on. It's
Yep.
easy to come in here.
I mean, at least they're honest. I mean, you know, I'll take it. I'll
And
take
set up
it.
shop because there's so many people willing to work illegally off the books.
Leaflet.
You pay 'em
Leaflet. Just because a thief is honest doesn't make him any less of a thief. Alright, Leaflet.
next to nothing, and who cares if you have to put up a gate and block people from coming in because your cost of doing business here is so low it doesn't even matter if you sell anything. That's ridiculous. And it reveals this whole illegal immigration system takes advantage of people. It takes advantage of the law-abiding who have to pay for the services that many of these folks get. And then these folks are out there taking jobs out of the economy, keeping costs low for businesses, but stealing jobs from law-abiding people who can't go get a job off the books because they're here legally. But there are a few places throughout America where you can now get a job who are hiring. The only problem is these places only hire legally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This is body camera footage.
Yeah! Yeah, get his ass! Yeah! Get this? I saw that shit flash for a second. Get this? Fucking Leaflet! She really put that shit in Spanish!
Sheriff's office, open up. We have a
Oh my god.
We're not here to promote them, but to show you the aspects of their work you usually don't see. Except that recruitment has been
Fucking
challenging
goats.
in recent years. It worsened for law enforcement in general right after the summer.
Are those like actual goats?
2020.
Yes.
Like,
It worsened for.
do you guys know that this is a thing that they did in California? That they have so you know how California has like those fire issues. There's like like wildfire like problems and stuff like that, like dry brush and stuff like that. They had like a new program where they basically they use goats. They basically use goats to like clear out the land. They just like bring up a truck full of goats and they just like let them out, and then the goats eat everything. Yeah, that's actually real. That's
Yeah.
like a real thing that they do in California. They used to do that. Like,
Yeah, but the issue is they can't cover everything. They can't cover every fucking area, you know? Like, yeah, it's a great natural way to deter fires, but it won't stop it everywhere. Like, you're gonna have to intervene where the goats can't.
near where I lived, they would just like.
But I understand
drive
the
up a truck
logic.
And just let out like freaking 100 goats.
In general, right after the summer of 2020, and a call to defund law enforcement gained prominence. The numbers speak for themselves. Every year after that, the sheriff's department has had a net loss of.
Can't say that on Twitch. Can't say that shit on Twitch. Calm down. You can't say that shit on Twitch.
Deputies, except for this past fiscal year 24-25.
Look at this shit. 16 hires, 46, 31 to 91, 45 to 51, 42 to 77, then fucking 96 to, I don't know, Leaflet's head is covering that.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing because then the goats, like, they come in, they eat all the you know, the dry brush and all that stuff because they can eat whatever, and then they poop everywhere, and then it like reinvigorates the land. It's like smart, yeah.
Look at that. So
Tactical
recruitment
goats,
is
yeah.
way up at the San Francisco Sheriff's Department. Look at that. Absolutely fascinating. You know what? You have a little bit of...
Yeah, you know what it is, guys? It's all the racists. It's all the racists that can't wait to deport people, right?
All the Eric Cartmans of the world just fucking signing up to be goddamn ICE agents to get out all those filthy fucking illegals. The white man. The white man.
Right? Man, look at all those.
Praise
racists.
what? Jesus.
I'm joking, by the way.
In this sanctuary... Every
Leaflet.
state, you have ICE come in and start doing their job without having to apologize for it. You have the president and the American people backing that, and even sanctuary city cops are now emboldened to do their job and protect people in spite of the fact that their own laws force them to do it with one hand tied behind their backs. And it's not just happening
it's stupid
in
as
San
shit,
Francisco.
dude.
Oh no, it's also happening in New York City, where we just had one of the largest graduating classes we've had in decades.
Afternoon, class.
Despite the increase, they are still short about 180 deputies.
I
forcing
believe
the
it. They've been
department to
decimated.
incur massive
Yep.
amounts of overtime. Last year, that department billed the city for nearly 20
The issue is that it's the few bad eggs, the few rotten eggs in the dozen that you buy that sort of ruin it for the rest of them, you know? Yes, there are bad cops, but not all cops are bad type shit. Just like how all thumbs are fingers, but not all fingies are thumbs type situation.
$7 million in overtime alone. Some want the overtime,
Jesus
others
Christ.
don't. In fact, their union compared the forced overtime to slavery. A recent newspaper report found that the sheriff's department had 19 of the 20 biggest overtime earners in the city. One
Wow.
sheriff is reported to have earned more than 700.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's sort of what happens when you're drastically understaffed. Your hired personnel is gonna have to work a shit ton of overtime to compensate, and they're gonna have to be. They're obviously gonna be paid more.
And $85,000 in total compensation.
What? You can earn that kind of money as a police officer with the overtime? That's insane. But who's fault?
Yeah, but realistically, you're like working what 60 to 72-hour work weeks. Like, bro, it's insane.
Is it that these cities are spending so much money on overtime? I mean, we just heard how some of these places have a population that is half criminal, who is here breaking the law every single day they remain in America.
Man,
and what does that do? That causes gangs.
Imagine living in a society where half of the people are criminals. That's crazy.
That causes
Man.
the worst of the worst to say, you know what?
You mean living in Mexico, Leaflet? You mean like living in Mexico?
I'm going to go to these places, and I'm going to make this my home base. You know why? Because I am
thinking that doesn't have a cultural effect, even if it's a small crime, right?
totally protected here. They're going to give me benefits.
Yeah.
If I get...
I don't think it's a small crime, but even if you were to assume it was a small crime, that's what I mean. Like, even if you were...
A crime's a crime. Regardless of the severity of it, you're already still breaking the law.
Or to say, like, that it was a non-violent crime to be here illegally, it's still a crime. It's still a blatant disregard for the law.
Get arrested, they're not going to tell ICE. On top of that, a lot of these criminals, who are their initial targets? Other members of the illegal immigrant community. Many of these people, when they come across the border, they're exploited by gangs and cartels who, if they can't pay, bless them with a $10,000, $20,000 debt for bringing them into America.
Look at all that Milwaukee fucking and D-wall equipment right there that they probably stole from the Home Depot just to sell it out in the street. Yep.
And a lot of times they get staffed in illegal labor situations like what we've got going on.
Totally
in
not
this
stolen.
City that's decided to board itself
Yep.
up and lock itself down to quote
I have all of this nice merchandise for sale, totally not stolen.
protect people who are
100%
breaking
legal.
the law and suffering because of it. What do you think about all that? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
It's like I said, basically. It's sorry. It's like I said. It's creating a bad incentive to a bad power incentive, right? Allowing, making it so that illegals are counted in the census. So they're, you know, these bad actors are incentivized to increase their power by having more illegals. It just makes sense. It makes total sense. I'll link you guys the video. Another really good one by Cash. And it's like I said, like, you know, I lived in California. It's real. There's a lot of places you can go in California where they don't even speak English. Like,
yeah,
you're trying to, like,
it's
buy
fucking
something,
wild.
and then just they don't even speak English. It's difficult, and I shouldn't have to learn Spanish like in my own country.
Yep, the Fumo got deported. Please reorder so it can come back. Her little plushie. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. Why should an American have to learn some other country's language just to be able to buy shit in America? It makes no sense whatsoever when you think about it logically. Like, it's the dumbest shit in the world. But yeah, someone who still lives in California, unfortunately, it is pretty fucking ass cheeks, you know? It's fucking wild. But hey, at least the nights are quieter and shit. So yeah, it's a shit show, man. It's such a shit show.